Hi, welcome back to the channel. I've been long for a bit longer this time because I had a bit of a meltdown with the last video, but I'm back. Let's just say I get a bit overwhelmed with the whole YouTube thing because I spent a lot of time editing and creating all of these digital artwork stuff for the video, and then I don't know, I get really attached to the video. So then when it doesn't do okay, it's kind of like it kind of sucks a bit. But yeah, I just need to keep in mind that it's whatever. I just need to keep going because who cares? I just did because I enjoy it, so I need to detach from the video and the effort that I put in it. But as I was saying, this video I'm gonna be making some socks. Not really socks, I'm gonna be DIYing old socks, old crusty dusty socks, and turning them into fashionable it girl paw accessories for the summer. Because yeah, summer is here. It might not look like it because I'm wearing a freaking sweater, but it was raining the whole day yesterday. I love weather, it's my favorite. My dream is to move somewhere up north where there's no nice weather, no summer, no sun, just depressive weather, which is happy weather to me. Anyways, as I was saying, summer fashion is quite depressing, I dare to say. I like to layer a lot. I just layer the shit out of my outfits, but in the summer I cannot do that without getting a heat stroke. So I just kind of like hate fashion and I hate life during summer. And you know how people get down or start feeling down when it's January, February, kind of like in the winter months. I just feel really down when it's summertime. I just cannot handle the heat. Plus, I just don't know how to get dressed. It's kind of sad to me. Like, I want to wear what I want to wear, and if I cannot wear something because of the freaking heat, then it's kind of like, it's sad. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But one thing that I like to do is I like to wear funky socks. I don't know if this has happened to you as well, but my Instagram algorithm has been showing me these shoe videos where it's like my shoe collection as a 26-year-old engineer, and they just like go around showing their like shoes. I mean, that's kind of like whatever, but I've been seeing a lot of shoe collectors. It's kind of been a staple in the fashion world. Fashion people have been really loving freaky shoes, aka, for example, the Tavi shoes have gone mainstream and now everyone owns a pair of Tavi shoes. Not me, I don't, because they are freaking expensive, but that's kind of like the point. Shoes can be outrageously expensive, so another way to have freaky paws would be buying some socks. Not socks for functionality, but socks for the sake of fashion, which means maybe there's no toes on the socks, so that's why I don't want to call them socks. I'd rather call it leg accessories. But I feel like this category of garment has been exploited by a certain brand who has been sending them down the runway for the last 2 years, and it's probably selling them for an outrageous amount of money. You cannot really find this in the mainstream fashion scene because I've been doing research and I was not able to find anything. So the only brands I was able to find who sell this kind of accessory are Instagram it girl brands like Paloma Wool and Julie Kegels, Mista, and they are selling them for the mere price of it's an arm robbery. In this economy, who the hell is willing to pay 200 euros for a freaking toeless sock? While I was switching up my closet for the summer, I realized I have way too many socks. I'm a bit of a sock freak. I would call myself an avid sock collector, sock enjoyer, enthusiastic sock wearer. I don't know. But anyways, I just have a lot of socks. So I thought, maybe I could use these crusty, dusty, nasty socks and turn them into fashion statement paw accessories for the summer, so that this summer I don't need to be wearing only, like a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. That's kind of it. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how I turned these nasty, dusty, crusty sock into these. Can you see? Maybe not. Can you see? Well, they are not done. I need to keep filming. What? I need to keep sewing. I need to finish them. I need to add the trimming, but this is kind of it. You can just leave it like that. There's something that I really hate about the DIY community. There's people that know how to sew. They do everything really nicely, really neat. And then there's people who use hot glue guns. And I think that's a freaking aberration. You don't need a sewing machine. You literally can just stitch it, hand stitch, whatever it is that you're trying to make. You can do it with your own hands. So in this video, I've made two versions. Basically, one sock I made with my sewing machine, and the other sock I stitched it by hand. So there is no excuse to avoid hand stitching. You just throw your freaking hot glue gun and stitch it with your own two hands. You will feel a lot more accomplished. Plus, like, who the hell wants to wear freaking glue on their socks? Like, nobody. Let's just start the fun part of the video. And I need to stop yapping. For how long have I been talking? Holy let's just start the video. Also, I almost forget to say something. I am planning something. There's something I'm planning. So I'm gonna announce it at the end of the video. But in the meantime, enjoy the video. Let's start the DIY sock project. Step number 1 is investigate your sock drawer catacombs and find yourself a long forgotten sock that you would like to use for this project. My sock is size EU 43 to 46 and I am size 36. So I will show you how to resize your sock. But if your crusty dusty sock is already your size, feel free to skip this step. Although I would recommend trying it on to see if the sock has become loose from the wear and tear, or if you've had this sock for a long time, it can also be that the lycra, whatever is in the sock mix, is rotten and therefore now your sock has no elasticity and is completely shapeless, kind of. So if that's the case, you will also need to resize it to make it feel a bit more snug. This is how we are going to resize the sock. We will need to let the dogs out, but because we are not a fit porn channel, I will put socks on. If that's what you're into, I would recommend clicking out of this video and heading to your favorite promiscuous corner of the internet. Next, put the sock or the socks on. It doesn't matter, you can do one at a time or both at the same time, but for the sake of this tutorial, I am choosing to do one at a time. Once the sock is on your foot, you will need to make sure the heel shaping of the sock is positioned correctly on your heel. Then you will need to assess how much loose fabric there is. It doesn't matter if the toe box doesn't align with your toes, because anyway we will be making a toeless sock, so we will cut this part. It is crucial, however, that the heel shaping fits correctly so that it remains untouched. Now we will turn the sock inside out and start pinning it so that we can resize it with a seam. We need to turn the sock inside out because that way all of the seams will stay on the inside of the sock instead of the outside, so it will not be visible. If possible, you want to try and make sure you're pinning the fabric symmetrically so that the seam you will sew later splits the sock down the middle in a balanced manner. My sock had some fabric bulging around the ankle and across the foot, so I pinned the excess fabric at the back of my ankle and along the sole so that the seam stays hidden. As I said before, I'm just gonna repeat myself. You wanna avoid messing up any of the heel shaping if possible, so I'd recommend adjusting the feet while avoiding pinning the heel area. Once that's done, you can remove the sock carefully, trying not to stab yourself with the needles. I'd actually recommend wearing a thinner sock underneath like I did, to avoid harming yourself. But if you do that, you will need to be mindful while pinning and resizing the sock to avoid actually pinning the two socks together. And now you will need to repeat this process with the other sock, and once both socks are pinned, you've finished. You have accomplished the resizing of your socks. So now we can move on to step number 3 and start the sock surgery. From now on, I will be editing the shared steps in full screen mode, and whenever the hand stitching and machine stitching processes differ, I will switch to a split screen view so that both methodologies can continue advancing at the same pace. First, I drew the stitching lines and prepared the sock for surgery. I like to use these sleek pins instead of the larger ones with the ball at the top, which I only used in the stop motion instructions to make them more visible. And now we will get our thread ready. I will be using blue thread so that it is clearly visible in the video, but if I was not filming, I would just use a white thread that matches the sock. And here's a little ASMR edit of me preparing my sewing machine. And now we stitch. I am going to sew along the resizing lines we marked earlier to adjust the size and the fit of the sock. First, the one on the sole and then the one at the back of the ankle. And once that's done, we will trim and finish the seams to achieve a clean result. But first, I tried on the sock to check the fit and decide where to cut it in order to transform it into a free the toes sock. When trimming, you want to leave at least 1 centimeter of extra fabric, and once you've done your cutting, we are going to open up the seam and go over it, pressing it with an iron so that it stays flat. This will make it easier to work with, and it will help us achieve a cleaner finish. For the hand-stitched sock, I folded the raw edges inwards so that they are not exposed. I did this to help prevent the fabric from unraveling with wear and tear. I then secured everything by hand, adding a row of top stitching on each side to keep the seam flat and in place. If you're using a sewing machine, you will add 2 rows of top stitching on each side of the sole seam and then trim the seam allowance as close as possible to the outer row of top stitching on each side. For the ankle seam, I only added 1 row of top stitching on each side and followed the same edge finishing process. So this is how the seams look on the machine stitched sock, and this is how they look on the hand-stitched sock. Do we need a comparison view? Maybe. This is how they look when compared. That's that. Moving on, I want to patch up the heel of my sock because it is completely cooked. Plus, I am gonna use the seam to add some frilly ruffles and beautify the sock a bit. So in order to do that, I will use the damage on the heel as a reference to trace a pattern. You only need a rough pattern just to get a length reference because we will be using the toe section that we cut off earlier since it already has a rounded shape. However, we will need to adjust the shape a bit to accommodate the transition to the ankle, and to do that we will stitch the toe piece to create a dart. To define the dart lines, you want to find the transition line between the heel turn and the heel flap and position the center of the toe piece along that line. To make this easier, you can create a notch on your pattern and place a needle there. Then you will pin all the excess fabric, and that will be the stitching line you need to sew in order to form the dart. Instead of cutting away the extra fabric, we are going to fold it and secure it in place with a top stitch so that the heel is padded and the worn out parts are covered. Then we will cut 2 strips from the remaining fabric and gather them to create ruffles. Secure the heel patch in place with a ton of pins, and then place the ruffles between the patch and the sock. Once that's done, we will stitch everything together. But this is the most annoying and complicated part, so I'd say be careful and patient while doing it. Wait, what? Did I lose all of my needles here? Okay, let's just go back and assess the damage report. Perfection. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. Yes, mother bitch. You did it. Finally. Because if I had to do this again, I would not do it, and I would be like, yeah, everything. Some more needles. Oh my god. The socks are so sweaty from my sweaty hands because I'm just so stressed doing this shit. But yeah. Okay, wait, I'm getting confused now. I have pretty much finished the socks, but now I need to try them on and see if they actually fit. I wanna see how they look with a shoe. Okay, slay. You could really just leave them like this with the raw edge because it's giving bandage, like hospital bandage kind of vibes. But I'm not mad at it, like I like it. Also, I found this picture that was on Elle UK magazine, and it's literally just sock like these. Like at first I thought it was a random person that just had cut a sock and just for some reason left their big toe hidden because they hated their big toe or some, I don't know, some bullshit like that. But turns out it's a picture from a Runway show. They just have socks like these with the raw edge. Also, I checked the price. I need to show you the price. It's wild. So yeah, all of this to say that this is definitely way better than the Runway socks. So you could just leave it like this. But I'm gonna add trimming. I got this lace trim. It's elastic lace, and I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use the overlock to clean the raw edge, and then I think I'm also gonna add some lace here at the top as if it was coming out from underneath. Basically, I'm gonna make a romantic goth sporty sock now. I wanna put back all of the little remaining pieces I had to cut from the sock so that I don't throw away anything, like it just is reborn into a new sock. But yeah, for some reason the Runway picture of the hidden big toe, like the sus big toe sock, it's reminding me of like a cast. She broke her leg and now she's wearing a cast. It's not only giving hospital bandage, it's giving like leg cast. But yeah, like I need to show you this because it's wild. Can you see that? These are the socks and this is the price. To be fair, this is the long one. Usual length is 80 something. Why is knitting 30 to 20 centimeters extra of sock add up 100 euros to the final price? Like, what the hell? Yeah, anyways, this is the end of my rant. Let's go back to finishing up the sock. And so the sock video has come to an end. The socks are finished. They're done. They turned out awesome. To prepare for this video, I basically collected a ton of socks around the house. Like I have everyone's socks. I have forcefully divorced socks, physically unwell socks, and just random socks that nobody wanted. So I have decided I'm gonna host a sock week. What that means is I'm gonna be posting for a week, one video a day, and in this video I will make a different sock DIY, but like fashion statement piece socks for the summer. It's probably not gonna be next week. I think I wanna work on a blog because I have been filming some behind the scenes stuff. I will try to post the blog next week, and then in my mind I'm gonna do one day DIYing one sock, then the next day I will edit that one video. So actually it's gonna take me more like 2 weeks maybe. I'm gonna do it. I'm committed to it. And let me know if you want to see a behind the scenes of how this madness goes. But yeah, I want to challenge myself because I feel like I put a lot of pressure on editing the videos. And I think that if I do something like this, like a weekly challenge where I just force myself to film and edit and produce 7 videos in a really short period of time, maybe then this whole process will be more seamless. But maybe I'm just hopeless. But yeah, I think this will help me, and I think it will maybe... Bye-bye. Yeah, so anyways, I will prepare for the sock week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I don't know, let me know if you look forward to the sock week. I do, and I also don't at the same time, because I think I'm gonna die, but like, yeah. Okay, bye-bye. Maybe I'll leave you with a sock runway. Okay, bye. She's currently online. Daddy says I'm too fat, I should bend down to some grass.